We discuss how to protect your data from a cyber attack. We highlight an up-and-coming singer, Joali Casada, and we further explore an innovative approach to early college. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose to get lost in the woods to gain experience in forest management.
Choose to travel through time to understand the past.
Choose to soar to pursue a career in dance.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger, Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world, and South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. Chances are that someone you know or yourself may have been a victim of a cyber attack. Joining me to give you some useful tips on how to protect yourself from such an attack is Cesar Morales. He's an IT professional. In fact, 20 years of experience in IT and currently Director of Information Technology for AmeriHealth. Thank you so much for volunteering to come and talk about this very important subject.
Well, thanks, Bert. So let me begin by giving you some alarming statistics. In 2016, there were more than 756 million malicious attacks. And when you think about that, that's roughly 2 million attacks per day. So I think there's a perception that most people think that it only happens to large companies or small companies, but the fact it can happen to you and me. So it is quite common.
Yeah, and certainly you hear about it in the news when it's a major corporation that got breached, but certainly it happens every day to all walks of life. What can families do to protect themselves?
So there's a few things that you can do, right? I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions, and then I'm going to give you a website where you can get some additional information. But the first thing is backing up your data, right? I would highly recommend that you back up your data. And really, the question I often get asked is how often? It really depends on how much information you're creating, how many documents. Sometimes it may be daily, maybe weekly, maybe monthly. But you want to make sure you're backing up your data frequently. This is your PC, right? The second suggestion is the Wi-Fi name and password. You have a lot of people that family come by and the first question they'll ask is, what is the Wi-Fi password? Well, you want to make sure that password is secured and that you're changing it frequently. And the same thing goes for the Wi-Fi name. Don't make that too personal where people can actually figure it out that it's you. I see cases where the Wi-Fi name is the Morales family. Well, people know who it belongs to, and if they know me well enough, they can maybe guess the password.
They know who to target if you make it that obvious.
Exactly.
And if you're doing the backup, obviously you don't want to do it on the same device.
I've seen it too often, Bert, is they back it up on the same PC, and really you're not doing you're not adding any value. You need to store the data externally on a hard drive.
Or on the cloud. Right?
Or on the cloud, exactly.
Now, a lot of folks carry around their cell phones and they go into public places where they could connect to the Wi-Fi. What's the danger there?
Well, the danger is that any hackers and intruders can steal that information because now you're in a public Wi-Fi, right? And the best way you can, what I tell people, if you don't want people to hack into your accounts, then be careful of what information you're exposing out there in terms of your credit cards, your bank statements, maybe income tax, all that information that you would not share with anyone. Maybe one-on-one, you should not share it online as well.
Of course, we talked about PCs, the cell, but a lot of the kids also do a lot of video games. They interconnect and go online as well. What are some of the dangers there?
Yeah, well, it's the same way. There's a number of devices that family have at home. You know, most of them have 4 to 6 devices, and if any one of those devices, whether it's your Wii, the Wii games, or your PC, if any one of those devices are left open, then anyone can hack into your account. So you want to make sure that those devices are secured. It's the same thing, but it's like having a home with 10 doors. If you leave one of those doors open, someone is bound to get in. So you want to make sure that you protect those devices. And there's a number of ways you can do it. You can go into this router, which is the box, right, with all the connection comes in, and make sure that you only allow the others or people that you want to have access to your internet and not everyone else. That's a little bit more technical. You can always Google it, YouTube it, and you can find step-by-steps on how to protect and lock your router so it can be safe from.
Of course, as more people get online, and that continues to happen, more devices online, and more people who just don't really pay a lot of attention to that security aspect, the risk obviously grows.
There's actually more devices than humans. 50 billion, and they can steal any information. In fact, if they hack into your PC, Bert, they can steal your credit card number, your bank statements, income tax, any information that's of value to you. And they can sell it. There's a market for this. Just like there's a black market, there's a dark web market where they can sell and buy this information. If I take your credit card as an example, it's worth X amount of money. But if I get your credit card along with your PIN number, it'll command even more money. And if I get the whole shebang with as far as your credit card, your PIN, and your name and date of birth, hey, I just hit the jackpot. And I can really steal a lot from you and purchase lots of things.
And a lot of folks use the flash drives to transport things, pictures, etc. Why is that so risky nowadays?
Well, that's so risky because you can lose that. If that flash drive is not protected, you can always put a passcode on it, right? But if it's not protected, anyone can grab it, anyone can see whatever documents that's available and can steal your information.
I know some companies, like where I work at, they no longer allow you to bring a flash drive because of the risk that you are also carrying malware into the system as well.
Exactly.
Well, what other advice do you give, particularly to the youth that they just want to go in and play a game? They may not worry about security, but there's a risk for them and their family.
Yeah, I tell you that what's interesting about that is there's no such thing as 100% being secure from these attacks. There's just no such things. And I think that people, when they think about how do I protect myself and all these devices and all these games that kids are playing, they think of, let me throw more machines to it, let me throw more hardware to it, let me throw more software. But really, Bert, it's not about technology. It's really about educating and training to make sure people recognize how to avoid or recognize some of those spam emails and threats that you see.
A lot of those phishing emails, right, where they try to hook you in and open up that email so they could get your data as well.
Exactly.
Well, this is very useful information. Thank you for sharing this with our audience. And please stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. I'm thrilled to have a local Spanish radio personality who also happens to be a recording artist and making it big with a recent release. Join me in welcoming Joely Casada. Welcome to Latino Motion.
Hello, Bert. Thank you for having me here in your show.
Well, it took a little while to get you here because you also had a show here at Stockton University. Now you also have a show over at La Latina 93.9 FM where you have a daily show. Tell me more about that.
About the show, I started at Latina more than a year ago, but as you said it, I started here at WLFR, the Stockton radio station. My radio show, El Desahogo, everybody knows that, is from Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. You know, it's a show where, it's like a talk show. We talk little bit about everything.
And you also play music as well.
We play music too. We have interviews, a little bit of everything, like I said.
And I know we recently had the big Latino festival in Atlantic City, and you were very helpful in helping us get the word out about that. But let's talk about something else, because not only have you a radio personality, but it also happens that you're a singer, and you've done some big things and are doing some big things now. Let's talk about some of the history you have in your singing career.
I started, like I said, more than 20 years ago. I love music. I worked with different groups in the Dominican Republic. I sang
Bachata con Sentido.
Bachata con Sentido,
Tell me about that
yes.
one.
I started in Bachata con Sentido, like professionally. I started with that group. I recorded some songs with them, but there was one song that is called Pégate. That song is in 2 different movies in Hollywood. One is called Shop Shop, the other one is Pride and Glory.
Oh, and I wasn't aware of that, so that's big. And now you have restarted your singing career, and I know you have a big hit in Dominican Republic. Tell me about that.
Yeah, after like 4 years that I stopped like doing music, last year, somebody just called me and asked me like, hey, Joelle, do you want to do some music? I was like, no, because I have family. I was like, I don't want to do that. But then I was like, let's see what's going to happen with this. So I went to the Dominican Republic to record this song that is called De Que Valió. And that's the #1 hit in the Dominican Republic.
Well, you know what? I know that you sang that at the Latino Festival in Atlantic City.
I did.
Let's just play a little tidbit of that.
Okay, perfect.
We'll be right back.
¿De qué valió y verte el alma cada mañana? ¿De qué valió ser marioneta en tu cama? ¿De qué valió si al final no queda nada? Si tú no tienes alma, tú no sabes querer. Si tú no tienes alma, tú no sabes ser fiel. ¿De qué valió?
Okay, so that was wonderful. You did a great job. And by the way, you were the MC, one of the MCs for the Latino Festival. Thank you so much. We really enjoy having you there. But tell me about this great music that you're now performing. You're doing this, obviously, in Dominican Republic, but also promoting it here locally. How does it feel? Tell me, what have you done different from 20 years ago?
I don't know, probably the experience that I have now. It's all different. Now I know what I want to do, how I want to do it, and I have a very professional person working with me and all this. So I think that that's what is really helping me now.
So you got your feet wet after 20 years and making it big. What's the next move?
I'm just waiting a little bit more. So, right now the song, De Que Valió, is #1 in the Dominican Republic. So we want to go bigger, get to different countries.
Now, what attracts you to the Dominican music? Obviously, you're Dominican, born in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Bachata is your all-time favorite. What's so exciting about the bachata music?
I love bachata. I'm Dominican, so that's part of our music. But I also like merengue. That's what I'm doing now, merengue. But I also like reggaeton. I sang reggaeton before. I just like music. I just like music.
It's obviously music connects a lot of our cultural interests from Dominican, Puerto Rico, and Mexico. Music and our cultural heritage it's just wonderful to celebrate that. Tell me, what kind of people are being attracted now to your music?
Dominicans, of course, Puerto Ricans. I have fans from Mexico, Chile, Colombia. I don't know, from different places. I'm surprised.
I want you to do me a favor, because I want you to open your show the way you do on the air every day.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Buenas tardes. Gracias por sintonizar el show número 1 de todas las tardes, El Desahogo. También por la número 1, Latina 93.9. Aquí está para acompañarte tu chica latina, Joely.
Do I need to say more? Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank
Wish you
you.
a lot of success.
Thank you.
And that's all the time we have. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion. Welcome back to Latino Motion. Education is a key to success. However, in minority communities, more is needed to transform schools and communities to better serve students. Joining me are Cesar Mickens and also Christopher De Jesus from the George Washington Carver Education Foundation. And Doctor, you've been here before.
Yes, sir.
Thank
you very much.
We were here last week, and we talked about early college. Just to recap, what is early college?
Early college is designed for high school students primarily to receive college credits while still in high school and or career certificate. So when they graduate, many students will graduate with an associate's degree or prepare to enter directly into a career serving program.
And before that kind of program works, there's a lot of transformation that needs to take place, both at the school level and communities. And I know you're working with a school district in Trenton who's going through that right now.
That's correct. One of the things that we're doing is we're planning and preparing to develop the early college high school program in one of our communities at the high school. And we've partnered with not only the district, but early college high school credits is something that George Washington Carver, has been working with throughout the state of New Jersey. And one of the things that we're looking forward to is providing these opportunities for our students in Trenton.
So one of the unique things about the program is you're not looking at just the schools and the community separately, although there are separate entities, you need to bring them together. Tell me more about that.
Absolutely, and many people approach just changing the schools, and they think, well, once we change the schools, everything will be fine, and that's not true. Unless we figure out a way to merge the community, transforming the community and the schools simultaneously so that we get the supports from the community to help parents. Some parents, for example, don't have jobs, but yet we have career certificate programs from workforce development that they could enter into. So we need to figure out a way to raise the level of education of the parents and the students, which will raise the standard of living of the entire community. And that's what our goal is, starting with the school district, but expanding that throughout the community.
Is that something you're attempting to do there in Trenton?
Exactly. That one of the things that we're working on is to really develop this program so that our students have an opportunity to earn college credit while they're in high school. One of the things that we found is that in the past, the students have not been successful with the advanced placement exams. And this not to say that it's not going to reduce the amount of rigor that takes place in its place, but one of the things that we're trying to do is really provide the students with an opportunity to earn college credit while they're in high school.
So yeah, one of the things that we've seen is where you have more the influential communities that do have better success with the AP type classes than minority communities, but you're saying it's the same rigor. So you're not reducing, it's not a watered down version of an AP class.
Absolutely. In fact, it's more strenuous in many cases, and that's what we're talking with our post-secondary partners about. We want strenuous courses, but at the same time, we have to start preparing our students in elementary and middle school to face that academic rigor that exists in high school so we are successful.
And that's the key, right?
Yes, sir.
We're talking about early college education at the high school, but it really starts at the elementary level.
Absolutely, and I think the state understands that as well, the education department, because they have additional funding for early childhood education. So that's what we mean by merging with the community as well, right? So that parents have an opportunity and the school district has an opportunity to bring these together to take advantage of all the resources. We got resources. We just haven't pulled all of them together, right? So they're working towards the same goal.
within the Latino community. How are you able to get support from the community?
Well, one of the things that we've done in Trenton, we just recently developed a whole new program for especially newcomers, what we refer to as newcomers, and is referred to as the Global Academy. But one of the things that we're doing is really trying to lend more support, not only through the Global Academy, but through the community support as well. One of the things that we're actually focusing on is really developing some of the things that their needs are. So for example, learning English. And we're doing a transformation program where we're trying to develop that language barrier as quickly as possible.
And obviously there are obstacles, both at the school level and at the community level. How do you overcome some of those obstacles?
One of the main obstacles is preparing our teachers.
Okay.
Preparing them to teach differently, so that our students aren't just sitting up in front of a teacher and the teacher talking. So we need to prepare our teachers to be more active in their learning process, to provide students with real world problems so that they can solve problems in the community as well. And this is not a new concept, they're doing this all around the country. And so what we're bringing to Trenton and to other areas, Cumberland County, Salem County, and rural areas, different strategies to help teachers and superintendents so that they're prepared to teach our students 21st century learning skills.
And I'm just going to go back to that mention of the Latino community. How important is it to also get their parents' education, particularly if they don't speak English?
Right, very critical, because one of the things that we've been working with is the type of support that we lend the community, because the Latin community in Trenton is growing by leaps and bounds. I believe they're now at 50% of the community are Latinos, in which case they need support. Now, one of the things that we've been doing is, as a district, is lending as much support as possible to address some of their needs. And some of the needs that the parents have is not being able to speak English.
Thank you very much for sharing this information. I know that Dr. Taylor last week indicated great progress in Cumberland County, and you're also looking to come over to Atlantic County, which is great. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us at home once again here on Latino Motion.
Choose to get your feet wet, to learn more about protecting our environment.
Choose to read minds, to understand the human brain.
Choose to get your hands dirty, to create a masterpiece.
Stockton University offers 50 high-quality academic programs, small class sizes, and affordable tuition. Choose to match your interests and talents at one of New Jersey's nationally ranked universities.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, a member of Geisinger; Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world; and South Jersey Gas.